Hello, welcome to Founders Live Center Stage. I am joined by my special guest host, Luis Antezana. I'm Nick Hughes. Luis, how you doing today?
Doing great, Nick. It's early morning here in Seattle, but it is 3 p.m. in Lagos, Nigeria, where we are coming to you, or we're in Seattle. The show is going to happen later today in Lagos, Nigeria.
It's so nice to be here. I'm Nick Hughes, founder and CEO of Founders Live, and we have a special show today. And hey, we're working with some possible technical difficulties. We're not 100% sure we're going to actually get a feed. We're working on that from Lagos, but we are here for a special Founders Live Center Stage show. And hey, Luis, before we get started, just share with us like your excitement of how joining the show and what we're rolling out with Center Stage. We're going to walk through some slides and some information on Founders Live, but before we do that, hey, we are here for Center Stage. Share your excitement.
Yeah, this is so fun. So this is May 11th. This is our first show in a ongoing series of Center Stage events that happen every single Wednesday in a different city around the world. We are coming to you today from Lagos. Next week we'll be in Houston. The week after that, I'm drawing a blank. Nick, where are we doing in the 25th? But we just keep it rolling week after week, going around the world, dropping into a different city to show you what it's like to be at a live Founders Live event, pitch competition. And before that, every single day that we do the show, we're going to do a pregame to get you ready for the show. We're going to bring on a special guest. We'll talk to some Founders Live partners. We're going to do a little pre-vote to see who you preview the presenters and what they're going to be talking about. And then we'll ask you to vote on who you predict will win the pitch competition, and we'll share those results and just kind of build up the excitement until we hand it off to the city leader in the city that we're visiting, and we drop in to see what's going on live and watch those pitches happen live, during which the whole world can vote for who wins that pitch competition. So there's a lot going on here. It's super exciting. This is such a fun thing to do, and I'm glad to be kicking this off with you, Nick.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. As Luis just mentioned, there's so much going on, and we're going to walk through that in a second. We have a special guest interview with a really, really special investor, and we're going to hear her story. So exciting. But first, hey, I want to review some things about Founders Live. This might be your first experience with Founders Live and even this Center Stage show experience. So, Founders Live is really about inspiration, education, and entertainment. We've those three things come together in this global brand experience that we combine our local community experiences. Again, Lagos, Nigeria today that is happening, and we're going to dive in there if we can. But we also have this global social network and ecosystem that we're building out. We really are, as we build out this homepage of the modern entrepreneur that has resources, information, articles, content, education, connections to help them become their best entrepreneur. We also have these monthly live events that happen around the world. Every week there is a Founders Live event somewhere going on. And now that the pandemic has receded, hopefully, we are going back into the in-person experiences. So we are building out the industry-defining brand around entrepreneurship around the world. And, hey, this started in Seattle, that the history of myself starting Founders Live in 2014 in Seattle, and it's now expanding around the world. We reach about 90 cities and 28, now it's probably about 29 countries. You'll see those dots on that map. That just amazing stuff. We're continuing to expand. So, hey, if you want Founders Live in your city or country, just type the letters expand.founderslive.com. That takes you to a quick form. Fill that out. We will reach out to you. Most important around Founders Live and why we are spreading and expanding and impacting people around the world is our 5 core values that are tremendously important. Core value number 1 is what we call respectful authenticity. And this is really where we focus on inclusion and really understanding that everyone deserves an equal opportunity to be successful. What does that mean? That means we respect people in their unique selves, whatever they identify as, whatever language they speak, whatever background and ethnicity that they identify with. We include you, and we want you all to be successful within this ecosystem. Number 2 is gather around the campfire. Hey, we're all storytellers, and we're building this kind of virtual and figurative campfire to really entertain, and we're telling stories of the future that we see and we believe. So we encourage you to gather around the campfire with your community. Thirdly, open the door. This one's huge. Do nice, or if not great, things for people without expecting a return. The great thing is it naturally comes back to you. So make those introductions, open that door for someone, help them. And that's the community that I want to be in, for sure. Business equals fun. We believe that business can be fun, at the same time can be impactful and getting things done. So we just celebrate business equaling awesomeness and fun. And the last one, new one here for us, is climate consciousness. And we commit to operating our global business in a climate conscious manner, including measuring and lessening our footprint whenever we can. And we encourage you to think about that and look at how you can operate that way as well. Our world needs us to make these decisions and to make these improvements. And that's what we stand for. So this is Center Stage. So exciting. And hey, what we have coming up next is exciting. We have a special guest that is joining us, and especially this topic oriented around, really funding Africa's future. So with that, we have Eunice Ajim, founder of Ajim Capital, and I'm going to bring Eunice on here, and let's pop her on. Hello. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nick. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. I'm so excited to jump in. Before we get started, just want to have Luis here just say hi, and then we're going to pop him off, and me and you are going to have a conversation, and then we'll bring him back on. But Luis, feel free to say hi real quick.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Eunice. I love your mission, and I'm really eager to hear what you've got to say to Nick. I'll be listening intently from behind the scenes here.
Sounds good, Luis. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Well, Eunice, it's so great you're joining us here, and we're going to dive into a lot of your background and how you view really investing in the future of Africa. And let's get to that. But first, give us a little bit of background. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and just share with us a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I can give you a background of my story and how I eventually decided to become a VC investing on the continent. So for the audience, I'm originally from Cameroon, out of Central Africa, and I immigrated to the US about 10 years ago as an international student. And I think my career path to becoming a VC has been an interesting one. From graduating college to getting a regular job at Apple. As an international student, that is what you're supposed to do. Eventually realized that corporate America was not for me. So I quit my job a year and a half into it and decided to launch my first tech company. And funny enough, after launching, I thought, oh my gosh, I'll become a billionaire in 1 year. It obviously didn't happen that way. Struggled for the first year into entrepreneurship, but eventually figured it out and started growing the company, started fundraising. And as I was growing, I just met an amazing investor that we decided to come into a partnership, join forces, started a second company. That company, within 2 years, we raised 3.7 million in 2 rounds of funding, grew the company from zero to a little bit over 20 million in 3 years. And the rest was history. So when you start making a little bit of money now as a successful founder, What is the thing you think about? How can I give back to my community? And Africa was obviously the place to go for me. And after a few angel investment, I just realized that it was a huge opportunity in the African market that nobody was talking about. Even me as an African in the diaspora, I did not know, and decided, you know what? I think the world needs to know what we are doing. So I'm going to go out there. I'm going to launch a VC fund. And I'm going to invest specifically in African tech companies. And that's really how I became a VC.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. And, and hey, everyone, if you're watching, we're sharing in the chat there. There's the link to their website. You can check that out. Talk me through, because, I'm sure a lot of people are actually interested in, you made that transition into an investor and actually creating your first fund. How did you go about that? And, obviously when people are like, hey, I want to get into venture capital, I want to become an investor, that's a one thought, but actually getting into the craft and actually the experience and creating a fund is one other thing. So what did you do to get into, starting your first fund?
Yeah, I mean, after starting two companies, you think, well, it's just fundraising. I've fundraised before, right? I can do this. I can fundraise from I've heard you fundraise from, hire people and then you invest the money back. I remember when I left my startup to become a VC, I was like, okay, great. Now I want to become a VC. Let me go online and see what is the checklist to be able to launch a VC fund. And like anybody out here, there's not a lot of information on the internet on how to launch a VC fund. There's plenty on how to start a company and how to scale, but it's a very secretive industry. So I had to be creative in my ways. The first thing after finding as many articles as I could online was to see what there are other emerging fund managers out there, lots of them on Twitter, lots of them on LinkedIn. I'm going to be reaching out to every single one of them and specifically asking questions that I didn't understand from what I couldn't find online. And I think because of my curiosity and how specific my questions were to these emerging managers, they remembered me. And I struggled for a little while. Eventually I was okay, great. This is my accreditation. This is how you put your portfolio construction. This is how you put your marketing material. And when I put all of that together, I was like, okay, great. I need to figure out how I can find these investors. And obviously, these are not people that promote themselves online. Like VCs, we promote ourselves because we want founders to reach out to us. LPs or limited partners, they don't promote themselves online. So I said I had to figure out a way how to get a hold of these people. And given the way I structured my VC fund as a 506c, which means I can publicly talk about my experience and my journey and the fact that I'm fundraising, it's really the way I was capable of fundraising for my fund. Right. So like for the fund, I made a big announcement for my fund. I was very active on Twitter and LinkedIn. And today, over 90% of my investors literally found me versus me finding them. And I think that is one strategy that is not very widely used, but that was the way I was capable of succeeding in this very secretive industry.
It's amazing. And hey, Africa needs more women like Eunice, of course. Look at that. Love that. Thank you. Amazing story. And hey, if you're watching here, everyone, feel free to say hi in the comments chat. There's the URL that you can check out, AGEM Capital. So let's talk a little bit about the approach that you're taking with investing in Africa's future. If you go to the website, you'll see really creating and investing in the future of Africa. So tell us a little bit about that, and how is that approach unique and different?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, right now, if you really think about it, emerging markets like Africa and LATAM and Southeast Asia is getting a lot of attention from VCs. But Africa is still really at the bottom of that pipeline. So what I've been really looking for is that there's such a big gap in early stage, which is pre-seed and seed stage financing across the continent. So we write checks very early on, about 100,000 to 250 in pre-seed and seed companies that are very specific around building, the digital infrastructure of the continent. We kind of shy away from like hardware. We really focus on software specific asset light technology companies. But we've been super excited by the amount of founders that we've been seeing. I think, Africa has its own problems. And there's so many opportunities that we could use technology to be able to solve those problems. And we're just getting started. We're just at the very early stage. And I think it is, the future is exciting. I'm super excited about the future of Africa. And I think the world is starting to pay attention as well.
Right. Yeah. And so what do you look for with the founders that you would be interested in talking with, and early stage startup founders that are building great things in Africa? Talk to us a little bit about what you look for in a team that is ready to be invested in.
Yeah, definitely. I have something that I like to call, and I think it's on my website. I call it the 5 T's, right? And what those 5 T's are is, the first thing is the team, right? Because you invest so early on, right? The team has to be great. Is this a team that, is willing to, that can really, like go out there and push through the hustle and all the difficulties and the challenges that comes with launching and building a company? Does the team have prior experience in the company that they're trying to, to build, or the problem that they're trying to solve? If the team clicks, right, we look at traction. I've been a founder myself. I know the importance of, having skin in the game. You need to show me that you've actually gone out there and find customers and people willing to pay you, for the product that you're building or for the problem that you're solving. After traction, we look at temperament. These are like very different things that I personally think of more than my team is. Can you attract customers? Can you attract great employees? Can you attract the best investors, right? If you have great temperament and you're capable of sharing the vision, then you're going to be a good leader. The next thing that we look at is timing, right? There's so many amazing ideas out there, but it's now the right time. Is Africa ready for the problem that you're solving? And if the timing is not right, it can be very difficult for you to be able to actually like move your product from where it is to where it wants to be. And then the last thing, gosh, I can't think of the last thing.
Well,
but I know it's
yeah,
the 5 T.
those are beautiful. Those are great. And, obviously
Yeah.
as an investor, you have to have, a thesis. You have to have something to stand on that really helps you determine, are they meeting these criteria? Quick question on all those. If you had to pick one that you felt was like most important, or at least like first, like when you look in it, which one of those do you think, so founders out there, of those five, the four that you listed out, which one would you say is like, okay, hit this one first, make sure that you have this one initially?
To be honest, I think for me, I think traction will be the biggest one. Even though I'm an early stage investor, I will not invest in a company that hasn't shown proof of concept. And what I mean by traction is some of the companies that we've written checks for right now. And again, because of the continent is such a huge gap in financing, I'm making revenue anything between, like 10K in MRR to a little bit over 100,000 in MRR. So I need to see some traction. And I know that is a big ask for founders on the continent, but yeah.
Yeah. I would agree too. And what I would say on that is, traction can be many different things. Think about this. So traction is really just showing that there is an acceptance by the market, your target market customers or users, that they're actually using the thing, or they're accepting the concept. And, that can be a sign up list. So, get on our waiting list, sign up list. And if you have a sign up, you have a waiting list that's hitting like thousands, tens of thousands of people before the product is even ready. Hey, you've proven that there's like an interest in the market. Traction can be like, We have some early, some beta customers that are actually they're actually paying money, right? So real quick, your thoughts on what else could traction be rather than like just the whole, oh, we're now getting millions of users and millions of dollars.
Yeah. So I always say this is always my advice to founders when they're like, "Hey, Eunice, I'm reaching out to all these VCs and I'm getting denied." And I always tell them like, if VCs is your first approach, right, then maybe you're targeting the wrong thing. This is the way like people think of startups and they make it so complicated. And okay, let's make this super simple, right? You wake up in the morning, you have this amazing idea. Or even better, right? You wake up in the morning, you're trying to do something and you're really struggling. You're like, man, this thing is really hard. I wish there was a better way for us to do this thing, right? And you're like, okay, great. The next thing you want to do is like, is there anybody else in my network or that I know that have the same problem, right? If they have the same problem, let me go speak to them and be like, hey man, when you're doing this, is it really annoying? Is it really like, is it hard? Does it drive you crazy? And they're like, yeah, it really does. I'm like, you know what? I'm thinking about building a software solution to make your life easy, right? Instead of it taking you a week to be capable of doing this, now it will take you just a few minutes by clicking a button online. And the person like, man, like, can you do this for me? Like, yeah. It's like, how much would you be willing to pay to fix this problem? And the person can be like, I'll be willing to give you $100 per month, right? If you can fix this problem for me right now. Okay, great. You have your first customer. It's like, and then take that, go build something a little bit similar, and then go show it to them. If you can do this and you can find as many people, right, like get the idea, then you have something. You have a business model. And now we can think about, okay, really, how big is this, like how big is the problem, like how many people in the world have it? But at least that's the first step. It's never like, oh, I have an idea, let me go get VC money, or let me go raise money from angels. That's actually the wrong approach.
All right. So what you interact with a lot of founders, you've heard pitches, you've had them approach you, and you've had meetings, and you've obviously you've obviously invested and actually given checks out. What would be some tips that you would want to share with founders on when they are preparing for or actually ready to pitch an investor like yourself? What are some tips to prepare for that pitch?
Yeah, definitely. I think, in the virtual world, and given that I'm based in the US and pretty much all my meetings are taken virtually, a lot of the times inbounds come from, from our websites or from some of our referrals or like our venture scouts. So before I even reach out to you as a founder to say, hey, let's have a meeting, I've already seen your pitch, right? I've already done my research. And I'm just getting on the phone call to have a conversation with you. I would say the first initial one is like, make sure that you have a great pitch deck, right? Like people, I keep saying, don't hire a designer to give you a nice deck. I'm like, design matters. Having a great, simple, easy to understand pitch deck makes our life easy, because if I get in front of a nice pitch deck, then I enjoy reading it. Now I can get all the great points that I'm looking for, and it encourages me to reach out to you. So when we get on a virtual call, right, a lot of the times, and I don't know about other investors, I want to hear your story. I want to hear, how did you get started? I want to understand your challenges. I'm not getting on another call for you to pull up your deck and to start pitching me word by word. And a lot of the times you have 30 minutes. And what I've seen founders that don't eventually get my attention are the ones that get on phone calls and then they're pitching me through your deck. And I'm like, well, your 30 minutes is over. Thank you for having this meeting. Bye.
Sorry.
So it's important for you to be able to like really now, like have a great story around yourself and why you're building this company, because that makes a big difference.
That was a very, very insightful thought. Hey, I'm bringing on Luis here, but that is, founders, you're watching, you're listening. Remember that if you've already sent your deck, you've already sent your slides already, and they want to talk with you. That's you have literally that limited amount of time to really get forth across the thought and the mission and the vision that you want to say. Don't just read your slides again. That's huge. That's huge. Luis, welcome back to the conversation. Do you have a question for Eunice here? Oh,
you're muted.
Muted. Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Eunice. Thank you so much for talking. This has been a great conversation. You know, I have been, I love every time that we drop in on a Founders Live event from Africa. I love seeing what everybody's doing on the continent, and the energy from the founders is always so positive, and just like, I love the spirit there. I love the products everyone's working on. And I think when I talk to people about what's going on in the world, I personally find the most promise and excitement coming from the founders in Africa. What message do you have for the rest of the world about what's going on the continent, and what you hope to see come out of there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have goosebumps, right? Just thinking about the potential of what the African continent and just like the entrepreneurial ecosystem is building. I think, like I mentioned earlier, potentially to like where the US was, right? Like today we get up and we see all the big tech companies, the Googles, like all these companies going IPO and getting unicorn statuses, and us as private investors making lots and lots of money, in the private sector. I think there's a huge opportunity right now in emerging markets as a whole, Africa being one of the biggest ones. That you need to start paying attention, right? For the longest time, Africa has been seen as a developing country, and yes, we're eventually at that stage where we're actually developing. We're building new technologies, right, to make our life easier, cheaper, better, faster. And I have one thing to say to the rest of the world. African population is not very much different than all of us here in the US, right? We all want better education for our kids. We want good health, right? That Ferrari and that mansion that you want, we all want the same thing, right? So we are all working as hard as we possibly can to be able to get to that better standard of living. And the way we can eventually get there? By solving the problems that we have. And problems are opportunities. And opportunities, if you can solve a problem for a billion people across the world, then you have $1 billion business. So
yes. Awesome.
It's a great message. It's a great message. So we, the website there is adriancapital.com. If you just type that in, you'll find that. And then, Eunice, this is a kind of interesting question on how would you appreciate, or what would you suggest people if they want to reach out to you and if they're interested in actually pitching you at some point in time? What would be the steps, or how do they go to the website? Should they find you on LinkedIn? What's the best way for them to reach out to you and establish that connection?
Yeah, I would say go on our website. It says pitch us right there, and we'll review every single day. We get back to every single founders. I personally, get on the second phone calls, when you do pass through our team. So it is the best way. Don't DM me, right? I get a lot of those, and it's been hard to keep up with all of it. Like, actually pitch us on our website, and somebody from our team will get back to you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. So everyone, there's the website. We're so excited. Love you joining us today, and continually, good luck with you. And we're excited to continue to work with you and really solve the problems over there in Africa.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nick and Luis, for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're gonna pop her off there. What an amazing conversation, Luis. So much good stuff going on in Africa.
Yeah. And I'm really glad that we get to give some visibility for what's going on there, not just with pitch competitions in the various cities that we have. We have Harare coming up. That's the one that I was trying to remember before, on the 25th. But also to people like Eunice who are helping do their own part for visibility and for funding and for seeing a bigger vision and path for these founders to create for everyone. It's awesome work.
Yeah. All right. So we shift to our next segment here. We're really excited to actually have, we have a surprise guest. We're going to be joined by one of our partners here that we're so excited to actually talk with. We have Matt Sussman here. Matt, welcome. How are you?
Hey, hi, Matt.
Hello, good morning, everyone from California, where I'm at this morning, but wonderful to connect with you and everyone in Nigeria as well. This is super exciting for me.
Oh, it's so great. And, Matt has his new app and new total awesome service, Flow, that we're going to spend a little time and hear about. And so, Luis, I'm going to drop you off and
Okay.
you'll join us back in a second. But Matt, so excited to have you with us, and tell us a little bit about Flow. This is exciting, and you all and somewhere else in the world might be interested in this.
Thank you, Nick. This is such an exciting opportunity for me to share my story. The previous speaker, Eunice, that was so inspiring to hear. And I'd like to start my little introduction about, I really identified with the values you mentioned at the beginning of your talk, Nick, especially the one about inclusivity. And I think that's what we can offer with Flow. Our platform is, our vision is to help entrepreneurs and professionals around the world really boost their English speaking ability so you can share your ideas confidently and speak up. I've been an educator for 25 years, and I've helped non-native speakers around the world, especially in Asia. And I understand the very difficult challenge it is to speak and share your ideas and your opinions in another language. I've learned Spanish, I've learned Japanese. So it's very challenging to speak up. But as an entrepreneur and as a professional, it's a requirement. It's one of the skill set that you need in your toolkit. You have to tell your story. You have to share your ideas. Even the idea of doing a pitch is telling people about your business. So what we're doing with Flow is we're helping people use voice technology to really hone their speaking skills. You can learn these everyday expressions that we use in English to help your conversation and your pitching ability sound more natural. Native speakers speak very quickly. Pronunciation is very tricky. And then we use these expressions that are hard to understand. So for example, like, you're crushing it, or it's all downhill from here, or go for it. When you're trying to learn a language, you're thinking going downhill, is that a good thing? Am I crushing something? Is that good or bad? So actually, these are all wonderful compliments. But if you get used to understanding these things, this is what the language we're using all the time in English around the world. And if you can understand these expressions, you can form relationships, you can feel confident about speaking up, you can share about your business and your professional career with much more confidence. So we want to help people really tap into the kind of global opportunities and share your stories and help you with your English speaking ability. And the great thing about using voice technology is you can practice as much as you like, and there's absolutely no embarrassment. It's just you and you're talking to your device. And then when you're ready, when the opportunity comes, you're meeting with somebody who wants to hear about your story, or you're sharing your ideas, then you can step up confidently and be ready to talk. So I welcome everyone to try out our platform, Flow, and give it a try, and watch how much your English speaking confidence can increase. So go for it.
Oh, thank you. And, walk through a little bit of, what languages, in terms of what demographics and geography, where you think that this is a best suited right now, in terms of the people that, what native language are they speaking that you think can help them establish their English better starting out?
Yes. So what areas of the world do you mean?
Yeah, what
Or
areas, native languages that they're normally speaking, then they can learn English. Which ones are you really working with now that it would help them the best?
Right, it's a good question. So currently we have 4,000 learners from 23 different countries signing up. When I first started this platform, my experience is I've been living in Japan for 25 years. And so I thought, this would be a great tool because voice technology has progressed in the last 9 to 12 months to a place where you can actually have an actionable conversation and understand different scenarios to really improve. This will really change the learning experience. I was an English teacher before, and I was a little bit frustrated that I couldn't help my students more. And so I had Japanese students in mind. Japanese students have already studied English on average for 6 or more years. Many Japanese know how to read and write English really, really well. However, the speaking opportunity is not available. So with voice technology, you can practice every day just for a few minutes and have that immersive experience where you're thinking in English, you're speaking in English, and that makes a huge difference. So people like Eunice are very fortunate that they're able to study abroad and live in the United States and have that immersive experience. Now we can bring that immersive experience right to your phone, and you can practice English every day. And the fascinating thing that for me, so I started with Japanese and Asian learners in mind, but I found that this problem exists around the world, and that learners from Argentina, Brazil, from Africa, from Europe, all around the world are finding that Flow can really help them with their speaking skills.
Awesome. So everyone, we have dropped the URL into the chat and the comments there. So feel free to check that out. And Matt, any closing words on, special for Founders Live members?
Yes. So thank you, Nick. Actually, because this is the first time for me to join Founders Live, I'm very excited to share that we will offer a 75% discount to anyone watching this streaming show today to help you boost your speaking skills. I've never done such a huge discount before, but I want to do something that really help people out there. This is the first time for me to connect with Africa. So we're going to offer 75% off. And currently Flow is $12 per month. This means that Flow will be $3 for you. So go ahead and jump on there, give it a try, practice, practice, practice. Watch your English speaking ability go up. You can practice casual situations, talking with people about their pets or cooking food, and you can describe all the wonderful food that you like to make. Or you can talk about business situations like running a meeting or telling somebody about your business or talking with your colleagues and building up personal relationships. So jump on there, get your 75% discount. You can just click on that link. It takes you right to our website. The promo code is already in there and you're ready to go.
Oh, thank you so much, Matt. And we've done this specifically because our team, as well as your team, believe that this is tremendously important for people around the world to just help them develop their language skills to be better business people and better entrepreneurs. So that's why we're doing it. And we thank you for your generous offer to give such a discount to entrepreneurs around the world that are associated with Founders Live.
It's my pleasure. Wonderful to partner with Founders Live. I love what you're doing here. I love connecting with entrepreneurs. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I want to help other entrepreneurs. I hope that Flow can be helpful for you out there. And just go for it. Try it out and send me your feedback. Tell me what you like about it. And, welcome you to the Flow community.
Well, thank you so much. All right, Matt, we're going to remove you, but it was so great to have you. Yep, thank you. And Luis, we're going to pop you back on.
Hey.
I'm so...
Well, that was great. That was great to hear.
It was great to hear. And I'm so pumped about having that product being able to be provided to people around the world and help them. Hey, we didn't talk about this, but it might be more than English at some point in time in the future. Obviously, there's many more languages, but we know that English is the language that is utilized most frequently around the world. And so love the fact that Matt and his team are building out this to help you all out there.
Yeah, English is a common connection point. And I love that he spoke about confidence in speaking. That comes from practice. It comes with everything else that we do. We find confidence through familiarity and being sure of what we're doing, which comes from just habits. So getting that app and being able to practice with yourself and get those reps in. In whatever way you need to do, it's that just gets you used to doing it. And the other thing too is it's conversational versus technical versus literal, right? We know the difference between writing and speaking. There's just a different feel. And as people get more familiar with the language, that confidence builds, and their ability to switch between those two contexts just helps them even more. So yeah, I think bringing a partner like that into our network and offering that to our membership at such a discount, that's just going to help everybody else feel even more empowered to pitch, to have those conversations, to just to improve their own business and lives. It's great.
Yeah, so great. All right, we have a transition period, and hey, this is the point in time we're going to start talking about what's happening in Lagos, Nigeria, and we're going to do a little bit of preview for the startups that are coming up next. And so, Luis, my favorite time of the experience and show. So first up, we are going to listen and learn about Sports Reels. Sports Reels is a social sports platform for grassroots and sports athletes to create a sports resume, to be seen by scouts and fans around the world while being able to turn their videos and highlights into NFTs in this post to earn model. So, Luis, are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. I mean, how fun is that? It sounds like they're really connecting into a couple of things that are very much on trend. Obviously, NFTs are a great way to connect with fans and people who might collect or want to follow your career, but also video clips, right? It's kind of like maybe a more specific niche version of a TikTok kind of thing. People need those quick, digestible content. But I think what's really a nice shift here is the connection with scouts. And this it just seems like a really cool way for an athlete to manage their public facing aspect of their career versus just being the athlete. So this is super exciting to see what's going to happen.
Oh, I can tell you right now that this is great, and hey, everyone, we dropped the website link in the chat for Sports Reels. And, what I would say on this is, there's two sides here. Number one, the increasing professionalism of amateur sports is crazy and amazing, right? Like the amount of it's really crazy, right? But I think that's just the evolution of the experience. So I'm torn a little bit. I was an athlete growing up, and in some ways you just want to play. And in some ways, even by like junior high, getting into early high school, they're already preparing their reels and recruiting to get bound for college. And now listen to this, that they're saying like to turn they're essentially turning their sports reels into NFTs to earn money. And so I'm interested in it. I'll throw out the like concern of just keeping youth athletics as fun youth athletics. And we can't lose that. We can't lose that. We can't have our children at age 10 freaking out that they're not earning money in their sports performance. Like that's I'm not dogging on this. I'm saying that I think this is actually a really cool and incredible idea. I think we need to just be aware of that. So yeah. And we got one here. Can't wait for Sports Reels pitch. I can't either. I'm hoping that we actually see it. So we'll learn a little more later in the hour. But look, as a past athlete, I think this is great. I think
it's always good for people to just have an avenue to manage whatever kind of monetization or career potential they have. I think too, for us, for Founders Live, we're expanding who's a founder or who is, solopreneur type. If you're an athlete, you're managing your own career, and very quickly, if you begin to be paid for that work, you're going to have a team. You're a business of your business centered around yourself in your own way, and you're a different kind of founder. But I think we're going to see a lot more of those kinds of people, athletes, creators coming into our orbit.
All right. Okay, so let's move on to our next one, Exceed. So Exceed, we simplify the process of school fees, payments, and reconciliation for parents and schools respectfully. So, take a look at this, Luis, and here we are, Exceed. So pay your child's school fees monthly. My thought here real quick is I'm assuming, and, hey, this could be more for the African market. So we're curious, and, hopefully we can hear that pitch around that. But here in the United States, depending on where you're watching, everyone, my guess is there's probably some challenges and kind of just difficulties in some of these, just paying a fee or whatever the rate that you are paying for your child's education is probably difficult and challenging in some ways. It's probably not easy to give them the money that you need to give them. And this is building us out. And if you read on there, we are obsessed about lowering the financial barrier for accessing quality education in Africa. Dang right. So, yep. Luis, what are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, well, when I was looking at this earlier, clearly there's schools that are requiring a lump sum payment up front in order to enter the school, and that is the biggest barrier. And this company will mitigate that by allowing you to spread those payments out. So, I mean, just on that premise alone, it sounds pretty promising. They're motivated by being able to help everybody get their kid an education, such a common interest and something we can all relate to.
Yeah. Lowering barriers for education and just being able to learn is the most important thing, in my opinion. And, we do that in our own way for entrepreneurs. But this is a great way for being able to really mitigate these school fees, which I'm not fully understanding exactly the exact rates and fees and all that's happening over locally in Africa, but I could assume it can be challenging. So really excited and interested about this. This is really, really great.
Yeah, we'll see if there's some kind of innovative approach to how they fund these loans or how they allow you to pay back or the interest. Well, that's the good part about the pitch. We'll see some of the details there.
We'll see. All right. Next up, we have Biostar Green Solutions, which their brand is officially Sustify Tech Eco Solutions, but Biostar, a smart waste management and sustainability as a service company powered by blockchain technology to track, monitor carbon footprint and emissions from organizations and citizens within Nigeria to reduce environmental pollution for a sustainable future. And yes, here we go, Luis. Let's check that out. So cool. And by the way, if you all remember, one of our newest core value is really around being climate conscious, and this falls right into that. So, Luis, what are your quick thoughts on this?
Yeah, they have there's a lot of things on that site. They have a lot of aspirations, and I'm really excited. I'm the guy that takes a little bit extra care to sort things in the recycle and compost and trash and manage my my eco footprint carefully. And I love that there are companies doing this and finding innovative approaches. There's just paging through there, you can see something that looks kind of like a smart trash can. I think all developments in this area are super interesting to me. Nick, did you get any kind of what's the major push from these guys? Because there is a lot here, and especially once they throw the blockchain backed part of it, some real possibilities here. But I'm eager to see what the core focus pushes in their pitch.
Yeah, I didn't I haven't personally really done enough research on them to make that statement. Obviously, would love to see that pitch, but what I can say is yes. My concern is, again, whether you're in the United States, you're in South America, or you're in Nigeria, the question is, where is the recycle going once you put it in your recycle bin?
Yeah.
What is happening with our waste management? And unfortunately, what I know about it is, crazy enough, it all falls back into the same pile, and that's scary and troublesome. So,
Yeah. And
if
we've
they
also
can really help fix that, yes.
Yeah, we've seen how, people are very careless with how they do that sorting, or, there's a lot of contamination. And on the back end, is it actually going to the right place? And then, too, one of the most common questions we get on pitches, how do you monetize, especially in this kind of niche of this industry, that it can be hard to get paid or to be profitable in this area. So yeah, I'm interested to see how they address that.
Yeah, good question. All right, moving on. Our next one, royalty.io. Royalty is an all-in-one platform that simplifies management of catalog, contracts, royalty, and accounting for modern artists and music companies. And Luis, here we go. Let's check that out. We get that going there, and look at that, royalty.io. Manage your catalog and royalties in the cloud for free. This is interesting. And by the way, what a mix already. What a mix of great startups here coming out of Lagos. Want to give a good shout out to our team over there. And, my quick thought on this is, the music industry is still in massive transformation, and just the royalties, the IP control. You're seeing a lot of artists sell their catalogs now. That typically is, an artist that's, been around for a while, and they have built a massive catalog, and they're selling that for, tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. But the concept of royalties and the way that this is all going to flow, especially in a kind of Web3, just distributed world, is all open. It's open field. And I think that they're onto something. So I don't know. You have some probably thoughts on this.
Yeah, royalties have always been difficult to manage, and the transparency behind royalties has been extremely challenging. Now that we have access to increasingly more data sources, it's the careful what you wish for thing. Right now, there's a deluge of data, and how do you integrate all that and make sense of that? So having a dashboard for that, combined sources from publishing royalties, mechanical royalties, now streaming royalties, all that kind of stuff. As much as that can just be automated and distilled down, I think they're onto something here. This is super handy.
Yeah, so that's the website right there. If you're wanting to check that out, check out royalty. But record labels for artists, producers, and songwriters, and then also for distributors and aggregators. So they're really they're bringing that multi-sided marketplace together. And my question would be around, I think, the economics of how all of this works and flows together. And if you think about simply $1 of revenue from a song that's streamed somewhere, what's the breakdown, and how is all this being managed? And I do think that the blockchain, if they're going that direction, or at least looking at these new platforms for distributed technology, can actually be a little more accurate in the data that is flowing through, and understanding what sort of royalties and the split and all that. So I would be interested in the economics of how all this plays out with all of these stakeholders, right? Yeah. And there's a lot of stakeholders in music. Like there's a lot of stakeholders. And so that musical artist that created the song, out of that $1, how much are they actually keeping? And that's always a question to be made.
Yeah.
So,
and it's a free product. And so, like, ironically, are they going to be paying one more slight percentage out of that royalty mix to the dashboard provider? We'll see what happens.
Good question. All right. Our last preview of the startup here is Climate Media Solutions. With a view to become a foremost digital marketing agency in Africa, it's a Citylight Media Solutions. I apologize. Is positioned to help individuals and businesses, enterprises boost profitability, productivity, and visibility using digital technologies. So we do not have a website for them. We do have an Instagram though at this point, Citylight Media Solutions. So we're gonna flow through this. And Luis, I would kind of throw back to you. Business solutions. For utilizing as a marketing agency, really helping individuals and businesses boost their profitability and productivity using digital technologies. It's not really telling us a lot, but you're in that industry. You came from the agency industry. What thoughts would you put together around what you think could be brought to the African market?
Well, media management is, oh my gosh, it's constantly changing, and especially with new technologies like interactive TV, being able to create content from all kinds of sources, do it yourself. There's so much complexity to the media world, getting client work out in front of customers in so many different ways, and managing how that's paid, and who's viewing it and how that's attributed, and it's a lot of complexity. Anybody that can innovate in that area has a chance. At the same time, it's extremely competitive and a lot of big players, so they've got to have something special in terms of their market, who they appeal to, what kind of stuff they're pushing, where it might appear. It's hard for me to tell without having a website in much detail. They're on Instagram, so maybe that they've got an interesting social media angle there. Any kind of insights that you have to what they might be doing special?
I'm not getting a ton of insights here, but really, Citylight Media just really helping create those digital experiences. If you notice, some of these, digital graphics and, the promotions, those are clean. Those are great. So that's obviously a service and a need for anyone that is building a company today. And, I think that's just a really interesting angle that they're taking to solve that. So,
sometimes in a crowded market, when there's a lot of competitors, sometimes all you have, you can distinguish with brand or just make an impact by appearing on Founders Live, get in front of certain communities, and attract enough people to do business, and you don't have to dominate a market as long as your product works.
Yeah. So we're coming to the end of this segment here, and Luis, I think it's a great time to just illustrate and give a preview of what's coming up the rest of the year. And so everyone, this is the Center Stage schedule. Every week on Wednesdays, we go live. We have this sort of show. We bring on a special guest. We hear from our partners. We preview the startups that are going to pitch at an event, and then we go live to that event. Luis, we got a big year ahead of us. What do you think?
Yeah, an incredible year. This summer already is shaping up to be great. If you look through all the cities and countries that are represented on that list, I think it would be fun if we could travel to every single one of them, but we're going to be doing them from here in the cloud, dropping in on those city leaders, hopefully giving everybody a bit of taste of the flavor of those local cities and how they do it. Founders Live is very much the same experience from city to city. There's a little bit of variation in terms of how they do what they show the crowd before the presenters get up and pitch. And sometimes we get to feature that. So that's really cool. I kind of like the fly on the wall approach of not just seeing what's on stage, but the other camera of showing who's in the crowd and what kind of space they're in, what the vibe is. We'll be introducing, interviews with people on the ground there and interacting with people in the crowd, having a word with the city leader. There's just so much ahead for what we're going to do with this show. I'm really glad we're doing it.
And then it's also important to mention prime time season is quickly coming to us. And for everyone that is not familiar, Founders Live Prime Time, as you see there, is going to be an incredible week that is incorporating regional competitions of the top 5 from each region of the world. Most likely Europe. That might end up being a wild card week, which we're excited about, or a wild card event. But basically, each one of those days is a Founders Live from Asia Pacific, and then Founders Live Latin America, Founders Live North America, and we'll have 5 competing founders from various cities in those regions. And each one is an experience that then goes into the Live Fest event, which is November 30th. So
Nick, tell everybody how you get into the regional finals, though. We have a process.
So we have a process that is the prime time voting experience. So the way this works, everyone, is each of our winners, if you see here, and I'm not necessarily going to click them right now, but each of our winners goes into the region of their a specific region, and their actual pitch video goes in. And the next step, if you win your city event, your next step is to now get as many views and votes for your pitch. Obviously, that gives exposure for that startup founder and their pitch for their company. But we aggregate each quarter. So every 3 months, we're taking the top 1 or 2 from each of those regions, and you just qualified into the primetime event of your region. So again, all of our winners go in, and then in the end, we're aggregating. We're getting a group from APAC. We're getting that group, most likely to be a wild card group. Then we're getting the Latin America group. We're getting a North America group, and they're going to compete in those. And so that's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah. So votes at the city levels determine winners of cities. Those city leaders or city winners compete against each other on a quarterly basis for your votes, just your votes decided to place into the regionals. And those 5 compete to win the region and represent in Live Fest. It's our own bracketology. It's our own grand World Cup of presenting startups and culminating at that Live Fest event for a world champion. I mean, that's so exciting in that the fans determine the output the entire way. So get involved, get to primetime.founderslive.com and start voting for winners, and keep coming back every quarter to vote for your favorites.
Yeah, so we're going to share that. So in the chat, in the comments, everyone, you will see the primetime. You go primetime.founderslive.com, and you will see that. So feel free to check that out. Vote for your favorite startups and your winners there, because we're going to get there. But hey, Luis, maybe it's time to let's talk a little bit about what we've been rolling this out over the last few months. We're so excited about the new membership experiences within Founders Live that bring you closer to the action, closer to the community, unique experiences. Luis, talk to us about, so I will open up by saying, look, everyone, as you are around Founders Live, you are then a fan. So anyone that comes around, votes, and has an experience around that, you become a fan of Founders Live, and that's free. And you're able to check out these events like this. You're able to within our new community that we're rolling out, you have access to a limited amount of rooms and channels. But then obviously our blog and our videos on YouTube and all that stuff. But you get our weekly emails and communications. But Luis, let's jump to Front Row, and why did we create Front Row, and what's involved in someone stepping up to that level of membership?
Yeah, well, what we noticed is, there are the people that we love having everybody involved in watching all the content and keeping up with Founders Live. There are people that want more, that really love coming to every single city event, or just be regular attendees and tune into Center Stage. They want to know what's going on within our ecosystem. There's so much happening, and they're kind of like the super fans. or just, want to be more involved, and maybe even have some of that content that we create, whittled down into something that's just the core pieces, so they don't have to watch an entire show. They can watch the highlights. We created Front Row for the people that want that just want the elevated Founders Live experience. It's just what you're used to. It's just better. And then get all kinds of extra things in there, special seating at events, special designation in the arena, surprise airdrops, gifts, boosts, like all the little extras that come with being essentially a VIP within the program, for a super affordable price. We've made this super accessible to everybody. And, if you look at even just the deals that we offer to in our Front Row deals section, that includes, like, Matthew Sussman just gave us the whole rundown on Flow. If you're a Front Row member, you're getting Flow for $3 a month. That's saving you $9 a month. That's basically paying for your subscription. So, you can get into something like that, get all the other benefits, one monthly cost, or very low monthly cost, and feel more connected, and just get the best experience that we have to offer.
Yeah. Jumping to the next one, we created the professional level membership specifically for entrepreneurs, founders, and people that want tools for their success. Okay. So if you step up to that next level, you're going to see how you unlock the entire community and the entire arena that is still coming, and we're still developing that. But the channels that are in there for, connecting with others, accessing really great content, you have full access to that. But more importantly, what we've created this is for anyone that is looking to grow themselves, like learn more and develop as an entrepreneur. So we have our academy courses that we're so excited that we're rolling out, and you're going to see some of those in the summer. So developing your knowledge and all the content that's there, the wisdom and accessing, advice and learnings from other entrepreneurs. Then we also layered on here, Matt with Flow is a good example of this, which is, anyone that looks to grow their business through Founders Live, there's many different opportunities to have your business offering listed in our marketplace and then positioned just like this to offer that to our ecosystem to grow your business through Founders Live. So the professional level membership is for anyone that wants to grow themselves and learn more and just, be a part of the community, but also to really leverage what is growing around the world to grow their service or business. That's perfect. And we're so excited that with when you look at Flow and that great English learning app, that is directly dropped right into our experience. And like Luis said, there is opportunities for people to purchase that and get that at a discount. And for all of you out there that want to get your app or website in front of the Founders Live ecosystem and community, that's your membership offering.
Yeah. And, this is, as you said, it's for founders and people that want to succeed in business. It is for a whole range of founders. Like if you'd like to become a founder, if you are just starting up a business, or even if you've had something going for a while, there's something within this for everybody. We know that the best athletes in the world stay that way because they're constantly training. They don't think that they've, made it just because they got signed to an NFL contract. They're working even harder to just stay in shape at that level. So the academy classes help you stay fine-tuned. As you said, you can get in front of our audience in multiple ways. We even have a way, like if you're doing thought leadership posts, if you have social media, we have ways for you to get that content in front of our community in the arena, potentially on the website. There's lots of ways to get your business out there. Plus, professional includes everything that we mentioned in the Front Row membership as well. So all that VIP stuff, all that extra content curation and access, it's really just the best of everything that we have to offer.
Yeah, if you look at, so we're on the feed right now, everyone. So this is on founderslive.com, and the feed is what you access when you join your membership on Founders Live, and you'll see that we have these really, this is specific to if you are a paid member, whether it's front row or professional, you're able to access this really great, unique, curated content. We highlight our winners. They're, this is Debbie Garcia from Nashville, Tennessee in the United States. She's sharing about her story, and that's about a 20-minute interview. It's so great. So the winner's circle is there, and you'll see that there's just a tremendous amount of content here. And this is dropped specifically for you all. Ken Hornstein, that is a full hour of how to raise money, strategies of fundraising specifically for you entrepreneurs. Free fans.
From an actual VC.
He's a VC.
Successful.
In the United States, right? And so, that is specifically for you all. If you're subscribing to Founders Live, you're going to get all this unique and helpful content. People that are fans and not subscribing and paying for Founders Live, they don't get access to this. So you got to get in there and check that out. All right, so we're hanging out here, everyone, and we're trying to figure out if we have the right connection into.
How's Felix, our city leader, doing in Lagos? Do we have a connection with Felix?
Let's see what we can do here, and we're gonna put this on screen.
Hey,
they're there, and
they're getting tuned up.
Unfortunately, they've muted their mic, so we're not able to hear them at this point. Let's see if Felix can unmute that, and we might be able to get going here and stream this. So let's see.
Maybe we can get some back channel messages going here.
Yeah.
Unmute Felix.
Great. So, Luis, we might just be able to hear the pitches that we previewed. And hey, everyone, look at this. Can't wait for Sports Reels pitch. Feel free to shout out. Harare, there you go. So we have some.
Harare's coming up. We're in Lagos.
Coming up soon, and we have some really exciting fans over there. We've got Jack over there in Indonesia. So
hey Jack. Jack's a city leader.
So feel free to share. Where are you? Where are you coming from? Watching? If you are still watching there, where are you joining us from? And when we can get some audio from our camera there in Lagos, Nigeria, we're so excited there.
Well, this is the benefits of live broadcast. This is the other side of it. Sometimes the tech doesn't come through, and we got to stretch.
Yeah. And for everyone watching, we'll go here, and if it seems like the tech is not really helping us and work, and we'll probably just close up the show. But we'll see. We're gonna hang in here. So we've got Toshi from Nigeria. Good to see you. Thanks for being a part of this and sharing your excitement. All right. Yeah. So okay.
Felix is working on it, getting it all loaded.
Well, we got some slides there. This is
coming together.
Yeah.
You know what? I wonder, Nick, if we can, if we don't get any audio, at least, if they're paging through their slides, I wonder we just keep this. I wonder if we can make this work anyway.
We'll see. We'll see. So, while he's getting set up, Luis, why don't we review? Let's see. So, going back to this, talk about, let's hit the social area right here and talk about our, how do we want people to share content with Founders Live? If they're at an event, if you're in an event, you might be at the Lagos, Nigeria event right now. You might be at an event here soon. We want you all to be tagging us. This is an awesome post from Kelly. But Luis, talk to us about what you would like to see with people sharing the social media.
Yeah, there's so many ways to share your Founders Live experience. What we see organically is people use a hashtag Founders Live, whether that's on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. If you use hashtag Founders Live, we'll see your post, and we'll engage with that, give you a like, give you a comment. And as you know, algorithmic effects. The more people see it, the more people see it. But importantly, I think what's awesome about the stuff you'll see here on our social media pages, we've got the very best posts that share a personal experience, a reflection, a feeling, just what happened, how they saw Founders Live, what it meant to them. People love reading that kind of stuff. We love reading it. I really love it. It's really rich content. But it helps inspire other people, and also, we feel a bit more connected when we see what other people are doing in other cities, and we're all kind of like going through the same awesome event experience. Hashtag Founders Live will do it. Also, just tagging us at Founders Live. That puts things directly in our box. So that's really cool too. One note: if you're on LinkedIn, they have we can embed your post if you allow it. If you don't, then we can't. Twitter, automatically embeddable. Same with Instagram. So it's just LinkedIn that can be a little tough. And LinkedIn's also tough. If you share more than one photo, they don't let you embed. So little limitation on LinkedIn, but we'll take it wherever you get it. At the very least, we'll give you a like. Videos. Here we have someone who presented and in Nashville, and then they're sharing their founder experience. This isn't really about Founders Live. It's about their experience as a starter, as a startup founder. But Founders Live is part of his story. Founders Live is part of how he felt validated with his startup idea and felt at home in Nashville in the community. And he's just sharing, his whole experience around that. So that's the beautiful thing about social. It's not about us, it's about you. And Founders Live is built for you. So the more we connect on there, the better. We're so enjoying everything you guys are posting. So thank you very much.
All right. Well, as you were talking, Luis, we have developments in Nigeria that are looking good. So we have audio now. Look at that, everyone. So they're getting ready, and we're just about ready to drop in. Excited here, and we got his slides there, or at least they're getting set up, and so we're close. We're getting close, everyone. They're just getting all set up and getting ready to launch and get started with the event. Yeah, so excited. All right, so Luis, what else? Is there anything? What hashtags do we want them to use again?
Just hashtag Founders Live. Let's go with that. That's what I see people using most of the time. Sometimes there's founder stories. Sometimes there are other things that are more generic. You don't have to use just one hashtag, but we definitely follow the hashtag Founders Live. So using that is a great way to be seen by us and make sure that we interact with you.
Awesome. All right. Well, here
so what's going on down there? I hear some background talking. Are they talking to the crowd?
Yeah. So we're gonna raise that up, and hey, let's just go ahead. We're gonna hand off to Nigeria there.
Okay, so we can just go straight to the matter and get things done so we can leave before these people chase us out. So we're going to be calling on the startups that will be pitching this evening. And no pitch for honor, we're going to be starting with. Okay, I need to get a little bit closer so I can see. Even though I'm young, my eyes are not so young. So we have. I'm going to start with the one I can see. Google cheering, Oyewe, co-founder and CEO of Sports Real. Please, can we put our hands together for her? I'm sorry, I didn't even mean it was just something in my eyes, and I know it was so spectacular. I couldn't, I couldn't help but see your pretty hair. Please, I don't know what else for her. Please, let's do that.
Hello, everybody. So my name is out there for everyone to see. Gochinyere Onyewin, but I'm better known as Bubbles. So, hi. I'm a product and community manager, an ex-basketball player. But before I go into that, I need to tell you a story. So basically, I knew someone who wanted to go pro once, and the person eventually did. And when the person did, a week later, the person was sent back to the country. The person had fake papers, fake signings, and whatnot. And that person was me. Sports Reels is a social sports talent discovery platform where grassroots athletes can literally put up their videos and highlights to be seen by registered and approved scouts from around the world. So Sports Reel is here to bridge the gap between the athlete and the sports ecosystem. Our market size is literally capped at 500 million prospective people who are sports fans. You're either a sports fan, you're either an athlete, or you have a brother who is. We are looking at a valuation of about $1.5 million currently, and that's before pre-launch. The market size is capped at $450 million currently. For traction, we've been able to partner with a number of African governments, such as the Ethiopian Youth and Sports and the Rwandan Development Board, while still trying to get partnerships with other people, which we hope through this means we can. We're also seeking that our team can push Sports Reels forward as the bridge between the ecosystem, and that we're looking at an investment amount for $150,000, which will be used for marketing and operational infrastructure. So with this, we hope that we're able to help to cut fake scouting in Africa, particularly. Thank you very much.
Okay, questions, right? Did you have any questions for her? Okay.
Hi.
Thank you for the presentation. I think yet to hear about the business model. How do you like you have a business, you want to probably use this to make money or push people out there. That's one.
So basically, our business model is promotions. That's when you want to promote your video, just like Instagram, you want to promote your video. So you upload your videos, that's free. But when you want to get it to the right eyes, because there are a lot of people who are putting it up, so the AI literally arranges that. So you pay a little fee for that. Then we have the NFT marketplace, which these videos and highlights are actually going to be turned into NFTs on our platform, where the creators, that's the athletes, get to still earn from their videos before they go pro.
Then, sorry, what's the scope of what you guys are doing? Is it just for football or?
It's a sports reel, any type of sport. We're even particular about gender, trying to encourage females to, take on sports. So.
Any more question? Okay, he has two questions, right?
All right. I don't really have a question. It's a comment, but come in form of a question. So I want to, first and foremost, it's a nice idea, and because there are a lot of young talented youth who are very skillful in the sport, but they don't have a coach, a mentor, or they don't have the money to pay for someone to really train them right. So I want to know if it's for someone that maybe is from a less privileged background, but is very good in playing football or basketball. Does the platform create maybe a discount for that? And secondly, have you partnered or collaborated with Ministry of Youth and Sport Development if they see this nice idea and might be willing to partner with you on this regular approach?
Thank you for that, actually. So, yes, we actually have a way to subsidize it for those from the grassroots. That's the whole point of it, for those from the grassroots. So, we, as the application, get to pick talents of the week, talents of the month. So, people that we know that, they are good, but they haven't been able to promote their videos, and we see it because we can see it. So, we get to put them in the spotlight once in a while. Then, as for partnering with the ministry, we've actually been on the Next Titan Nigeria, which we've been able to, talk to Nigerians about it. So that's as far as we've been able to.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
A round of applause for her. If you love what she's doing and you want her to win this edition of Modern Life, please vote for her when the time for voting comes. So we will be inviting right now Jeremiah. I don't want to bother anything, so maybe we need to do that. Co-founder and CEO of Biostar Green Solutions.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeremiah Mikai. I'm a web developer and sustainability expert. I'm the founder of Biostar Green Solution, and we are a sustainability brand. I believe this morning you've all drank a bottle of water or you have drank a bottle of Coke, and what do you do after that? You throw it away. We have been hearing a lot of stories about climate change, about the environment is being polluted, but we have come up with a solution that is sustainable and that provides a great solution to the environmental problem that we all face. So, and that solution is called Sustify. What does Sustify does is a digital platform that does 6 different things. One, it provides climate education to enlighten youth and everyone about the environment. Secondly, it provides a gamified platform whereby you can play mobile games or video games, focus on the environment, and you can be rewarded for taking greener actions. Thirdly, we have looked at a lot of bins are scattered all around, but if you observe in all the streets, you see a lot of bins that are being filled up, and it takes time for Loma or anybody to come and pick it up. Therefore, we also developed a system that can notify the collectors, recycling companies to come and pick up this waste from wherever they are. Fourthly, we have also partnered with other recycling firms whereby these plastic bottles and water bottles, they are being recycled into new materials. So personally, I've worked with a recycling organization, and we've been able to collect over 13,000 tons of recyclable waste, and we compress and crush them into raw materials that can be used to create t-shirts, sneakers, and other household products. And lastly, our platform is being powered by blockchain technology and artificial intelligence. And therefore, we are here to seek for funding to be able to scale up our operations, because the environment concerns every one of you. The way you treat the environment is the way the environment will also treat you. So we are looking for more individuals to partner with us in order to achieve a sustainable environment, in order to achieve a greener society, and also to live healthy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We would like to entertain questions right now. Do you have any question for him? Any questions that will make you decide to vote for him or not? Just to get some level of clarity. Okay.
I think the idea about this business model.
Okay, he wants to know about your business model.
All right, our business model is simple. Like I mentioned, those 4 different things. So our business model is a B2B, B2C model, whereby we render sustainability as a service to waste management companies and also to recycling companies. So we sell these smart bins to them, and there's a software that manages that. Secondly, we'll also have a digital platform that incentivizes citizens who collect these plastic bottles, and they are being paid for it. So we have a platform that does that, whereby you can exchange your plastic waste in exchange for cash. And thirdly, we also have a climate education platform that trains people about the climate and also how they can convert their waste to cash.
Thank you so much. Any other questions for him?
Well done. Just wanted to the implementation of the blockchain.
All right. So what we use blockchain, we use it to record data about waste, because a lot of waste is being generated around the country. So we use it to do 2 things. One, to record data so that it is stored there and it cannot be changed. Secondly, we use it to incentivize. We want to use it to incentivize citizens for taking greener actions. Because if I tell you that, okay, 50 bottles is just worth 15 naira, you look at that is so small. Why will you give me 15 naira? Because I've been able to bring 50 bottles. But when I tell you 0.00% of a particular kind of currency, digital currency, is what this recyclable waste, you'll be motivated to keep it, and that's which helps the environment to be cleaner, and this waste will not be going to the landfills.
Okay, thank you. Is it only water bottles you recycle?
No, cans, cartons, and other packaging materials.
That's a question.
Thank you very much. I just have a question, just a very simple. Let's say you are very successful. So you've pledged all the 9.6 billion worth of plastic that is being produced. So what next will you do? Like in 6 months, very effective solution. The plastic waste are all finished. What next action will you take?
Next action, next that I will take will be to diversify into other types of waste, because we have both organic waste and unorganic waste. So plastic waste is one type of unorganic waste, and waste is being generated every day. As long as people are living, we continue to be generating different type of waste, but there needs to be a sustainable way of managing that waste. It's either by recycling it or upcycling it or making sure that it does not affect the environment.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for me. If you're someone who loves climate, sustaining climate, and all of that, I think you should get ready to move in, or not. So let's move over to the next startup. Well, let's invite Chinedu, the founder and CTO of Royalty.io.
Thank you. Hi, good evening. My name is Chinedu. I'm founder of Royalty.io. It's a repertoire, royalty, and accounting system for music artists and music companies of today. Decades ago, the music industry was mostly as CDs and records. It was very difficult for music companies to keep track of revenues generated and also account those revenues and pay their artists. Now, decades later, we're now in the new music industry with the advent of streamings and downloads. Now, yes, there's a lot of revenue being generated for both artists and music and record labels, but with that came a lot of data, different payment structures, as well as contract types. So there's now a problem of there's no unified system for music companies, record labels, and distribution companies to manage their artists, contracts, their catalog, as well as collating royalty data into one form and also automating accounting processes. So Royalty.io provides a platform to do all that and more. Not just that, it also makes it very easy for the admins to use and also for artists to understand. We basically turn spreadsheets and PDF documents into an intuitive dashboard for both admins, artists, producers, songwriters, and anybody that's going to be sharing splits in particular musical content. We launched our private beta in February this year, and now we're currently working with 2 digital distribution companies and 2 record labels with a combined 1,000 plus artists and processing $150,000 in monthly royalties. So the team is headed by me. I have many years experience in entertainment field as well as in tech, and we are advised by titans in the music industry as well as tech industries. Our business model is B2B and B2C as well as B2B2C. It's starting with a freemium subscription that can go up from $50 up to tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the size of company we're serving. Thank you.
So, I think I have one question that can give it to the rest of the questions that I want to ask. First, you mentioned B2B, B2C. For one clear thing, I don't know how you make money. Like, CR is B2B, you make money, but that's just specific of how do you make money? Is it by subscription or a consultant? Like, in what's in real, like how do you make money?
Yes, it's a subscription business. So the businesses pay us a subscription fee every month to manage, for them to have access to manage their catalog and royalties on the platform.
So you make $150,000. You make $150,000.
No, I said we process.
Process. Okay. Not
Royalties. Yeah.
So you process $150,000.
No,
So far.
The companies we're currently working with, they are earning and processing monthly $150,000 every month. So, yeah, so The thing is, the companies like the record labels and digital distribution companies, they make monies from DSPs and everywhere, and they get royalties later. So every month combined, all of them get at least $150,000 in royalties every month. So they put it on our platform, and then they're able to see visual charts, and they can grant access to their artists, so they can see, okay, I made I made $100 or $200. So everybody, around 1,000 plus artists get access to the platform to see their own share of the money. But combined, all the companies, they are earning and processing monthly at least $150,000.
Okay, so that's not huge processing. Maybe I could say that's money under your management. Okay, not necessarily you processing. I just needed to get that clear.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I was going to ask, you pull these entertainment players, data distribution companies, record labels, and all, okay, to your platforms to manage the artists, manage the inventory, manage real
Contracts, accounting, payments, expenses, advances.
all those things you're doing, right? Okay, and you have about 1,000 artists across the two distribution.
Two distribution companies, two record labels.
Yeah. Interesting. That's a huge number too. Okay, so for the business side, and 1,000 on the consumer side, right? And $150,000 in the management for these four businesses. Your competitors, I want to think Coson.
No, my competitor is not Coson. No.
Where competitors?
So Coson mostly administers publishing royalties, and that is it. And from what I've found, their systems or their process is not automated yet. So we could actually be a solution for Coson to use to adopt.
Okay, they do usually offer.
Yes.
Okay, but
I'm sure since you know Coson, you also know the stories and the legal issues they have, the problems that arise because of the operation. So it could actually be a solution for them.
All right, we should not end.
Thank you.
That's it.
Hi, thank you for the meeting. I'm actually very interested in how you're going to help indie artists. For example, how you indie artists in Nigeria, but what's the advantage of them using the platform over using recognized distribution platform? Also, for like, let me give an example for Lagos. So that's for the indie artists, and also for Lagos. Let me ask for simplicity. Let me use it particular blog. They currently use, let's say, African. I don't know if you have African.
Yeah.
So, what's your own advantageous point to Simplicity giving African to use your platform or whatever the distribution channel you use for that?
So I'll start with the indie artists. So we're looking to serve everybody down from the starting with the indie artists and the small artists. So for them, the platform will probably be free for them to use. What the platform is going to do is just put things into one format to look at. So even if they go to use distributor that use tool called Tomorrow, and maybe they are using one local distributor, they can get all those royalties later and put it on our platform and get just one view of all their royalties in on one platform basically. And if they need to share royalties with someone else, maybe like their producer or their manager or their friend, they could also use the platform to do that. Some distributors give that feature, but it's not all, and it's not maybe it won't be as intuitive or grant access like ours. And for Chocolate City, funny you mentioned it, we've actually been working with Chocolate City to, like, they advised us on a lot of the features they built in, and I won't say more than that, but for them, a use case would be because of how their contracts with different artists would be and how they monetize with different sources. So what a platform like this would do, make it easy for them to say, okay, MI and Ice Springs and Brimo and let's say SARS, they are all on a song, and we need to share royalties for all of them. And we did not just use Africori to distribute the song. Yes, they can use Africori. Africori will send the monies to Chocolate City. Chocolate City will then have to split the money between all these people. So the way it's normally done in most companies now is spreadsheets. So they open the spreadsheet file, get the royalty column, calculate, check the contracts of each person. If it's 20%, okay, 20% of this, we record it for a man. 30% of this, record for ice cream. 20% of this, record it. Get totals and then send to everybody. They do this manually every month. So a platform like this is what they will do is get the data from Africori, upload it here. There's the contract ready on the platform, and then they don't need to do anything else. They say, okay, ice cream MI, there's new data. You just log on there and see, okay, I made this one so this month. Every month, they just log on to the platform and see how much they're making. When payments are made, the admins or the accountant just record the payments. It's subtracted from the artist's own dashboard. So it just makes things easy and transparent, and there's no question saying, well, how much did I make? Where did so and so money go? If their expenses as well, they record it on there and everybody gets to see all that data.
Okay, thank you so much. A round of applause for him, please. And if you like all what he said, and if you're a lover of music, I think you should get ready to vote for him. But do not make up your mind yet, because the next startup might just blow your mind. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome to Lady Adoye, CEO and founder of ASI. Do you have a base? ASI base.
Hello everyone, my name is Timmy. I'm a co-founder of AXI. AXI is basically a pay now or pay later provider for quality education. So what exactly does it mean? Before now, the way parents pay school fees is that they go to the bank with the cash and then pay and then get a teller and take it to the school and then get the receipt as a proof of payment. So that's how it's done. Now, there are two problems. It doesn't make sense in the digital world. So what we're doing is that we're building a digital platform where parents can pay directly from their fingertips in less than 5 minutes the school fees amount, and then the receipt is auto-generated for them. Now, the advantage to schools is that it saves them time in reconciliation of payments by 80%, dropping it from 2 hours to just 24 minutes. The pay later part is we're extending credits to qualified parents who are basically middle-income salary earners. We extend credits to them. It saves them from unnecessary embarrassment. I mean, when their kids sent back home at the beginning of the term. So at the beginning of the term, we pay the total school fees amount, and then the parent will pay us back monthly spread across the month. It's a buy now, pay later model. How do we make money? We make money by charging 1% transaction fee for every school fees that is processed on our platform from the parents and from the school. So if the school is like 50,000 naira, so we make 500 naira from the parents and also 500 naira from the school. So the other part, buy now pay later, is for middle income salary earners. Those are people that will qualify. So the interest rate is just 10% spread across 3 months. If the school is 60,000, 10% is 6,000. Then we pay at the beginning of the term first for resumption, and then the parents will pay us back monthly across 3 months. That's 22,000 naira per month. So it makes payments easy. And also research shows that 40% of parents will change their child's school to a more quality school, to a better school. How many people wish you attended a better school while in secondary school? Your parents will not do that because they could not pay monthly. Most likely because they could not pay monthly. So what's the advantage for schools? The advantage is that they get the cash to finance their business at the beginning of the term. So it doesn't give them cash flow problem. So what traction have we had till date? We have signed up over 300 parents from 28 schools in Lagos. And also on our competitors, Credit Plan, Zero Pay, but we are better than them because our technology affords us to extend credit to parents at a relatively low interest rate, 10%. And also, there's no need for a down payment. If you are to use Zero, you need to make a down payment. We are currently raising $80,144. Yeah, that's how much we are raising. Okay, my slides are ready. We have revenue projection now. Thank you. Any questions?
I think it's the one that tries to keep time. Yeah, so give it to him again.
Question.
Just one question.
What?
There's no time. Okay, just one question. Just to you.
So I'm interested in knowing how you trying to manage the credit with debt because people will definitely want to subscribe. So how do you confirm that those guys are credit worthy? How do you do your authentication and the likes?
Very good question. So we developed an internal credit risk engine, and after developing, we noticed that just 10% of applicants will actually qualify. So this is how it works. We pull on their financial data using Okla's API. So when we use Okla API, we see your financial data, we see how much you're spending, we see how much you are earning, we see your salary. So that is what we use. So we use machine learning to develop the algorithm that then recommends to us whether to extend credits to a user or not. So just 10% of people actually have credit. Did I answer the question? Next question.
Is your platform API based?
Is it?
API based?
What do you mean API based?
Can other platforms leverage you?
Leverage on our platform? No, not yet, but we'll get to that point definitely. Thank you. Any more questions?
Have they asked a question?
Questions?
So just give me
40% of payments.
Yes.
Where did you get the data?
So we actually took survey. It was data we took from customers. I mean, you can check our website, www.acid.com. So when you fill the form, we ask the question, would you change your child to a more quality school if you could pay monthly? And 40% of parents said yes. And now, think about it. I think 100% of parents would say that if they would not, if it were not more expensive, now they factored in the cost, they factored in the interest rate they'll be paying. So that means, 40% of parents.
No, just an advice. I would suggest you should be more modest with that data. Because if you, that's percent basically.
Okay.
So I understand that that's a
little bit the number is what?
The number of, if we take statistics and the number of people who basically changed school.
Yes.
When they were in secondary school and primary school, 40% would be very high. If you want to try it.
No, that's what I'm saying. The question was that would you change your child's school to a better school if you could pay monthly? Normally, if you have to take your child to a very good school, they require to pay at the beginning of the term, first week of resumption. Now, what we are doing is that the reason why you're able to pay monthly is that we pay the schools at the beginning of the term. Let's say on the 120,000, we pay it. And then, as a salary, now you'll be able to pay us from your salary spread across 3 months. So, 10% of 120,000 is 12,000. That's the total of 130,000 you are paying back. So, you pay us back 44,000 per month. After we have paid 120,000 at the beginning of the term. So 40% of credit actually said is it, the numbers is there if you want me to show you. I can show you it's book forms basically. Yes, 40%. Yeah. It's 3 times per year. We are paying per term. That's why they have to pay for 3 months. Is from each salary for each month. So the 10% interest rate is for the whole 3 months.
So in a year, it's actually like 30%.
30,000.
No, sorry. Let me explain. Right? The problem of our section
is perfect.
So our section is the service over time.
Yeah, perfect.
1% about it is that I'm looking at how you're going to work on it.
Yes.
Right. I've been a teacher, like classroom teacher.
Yes. I would love to speak to you.
So, and the way you see Grace, Range, and the rest of them, then you come around to see parents who wants to collect, some of their parents are abroad, and the wife wants to the school to say the school fee should be in dollars, right? And they want the money once, so they can, and sometimes they inflate it. So somehow you have part of this market cut off. Now when you come to the real people that needed this service, they are not digitally savvy to use your service, basically. I'm not saying the market is not there, but that's also something that we need to look at. Because you're not using credit score, which means the whole market that you've identified are not the people you'll be able to serve. Like you just said, your credit score will only allow you to give 10%. And now the actual person that needs this your service is the organizer by the roadside who makes monthly income. I get it. Now, if we now begin to look at it, and one more advice I want to give to you is, if you could have different model, like instead of saying you are charging 1% or is it from both sides of your platform, that doesn't make sense to me. I think you should either charge just the parents and now use another separate model for the school. The reason is because those two of them have 2 different needs. So if you use the same model with them, I
don't understand.
Okay, you don't understand what I'm saying. The service you are providing for each part of the
No, I mean, before service to the parents, that they don't have to go to the banks to make payments. They pay on the mobile app, and also for the
Is that
school.
the same service you provide for the school?
Now, the service to the school is that they normally spend up to 2 hours doing reconciliation of payment. What it means is that they take the paper and start checking. Now, if it's done on that because it's digital, you can do it in 24 minutes. So we are charging just 1% from the school fees for final service.
In 3 months, they just need someone to pay 80,000. Basically, 80,000 per month. Do content of their revenue.
Yes.
So you should, if for example, like the person I asked about data, you didn't know why I asked him about it. Sorry, the question I was asking was about data and policy, because I know, for example, that there are different research revolutions that will come up very soon, and then we might replace plastic bottles. So I was just trying to understand if it's taken in the direction of what would happen if any of this policy or research innovation scales through, right? Yes. So now we are providing different solutions to schools. So, and they behave differently. So if you have a separate model, it will work better because there is some type of psychology that runs in the market. That's what I'm just trying to say.
Emerson, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I read about plus for him. Is it like all of us like to do what he's saying? If you go to school, you went to school, you must vote for him. I said it. So, ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome the last but not least, David Agbola, CEO and founder of Citylight Media Solutions. You have a solution to the problem.
Good evening. My name is David. My name is David Agbola Olaleko, and I'm a certified digital marketing professional and the founder and CEO of Citylight Media Solutions. And I'm here bringing good news to the African startups. But before that, let me ask you, are you aware that 80% of Nigerian SMEs fail in less than 5 years of existence? Yeah, from the research by financial experts. And this trend is due to lack of digital innovations among other reasons. But then I'm not surprised because research also showed that 88%, over 88% of the Fortune 500 companies in the 20th century failed because they failed to adapt to new technology. So this trend has been on and on for years, but there has to be a solution to that. And that is where the goodness comes in, introducing Citylight Media Solutions. Citylight Media Solutions is a B2B digital full-service digital marketing agency that offers complete, well-tailored, innovative digital solutions that aligns with your business goals. So regardless of the level that you are in the growth phase, we have something for you. We have something for you. Then our motto, Citylight Media Solutions, soaring with you, simply reflects our willingness to blend, or let me say our willingness to be flexible with our services, meaning that regardless of the level you are in your growth phase, whether you're in the earlier stage of the growth phase or you're beyond, we have something for you. So we started full operation December till now, but have been running this business even as an employee for about 2 years now. But then I went full service December last year, and we have crossed a little over $1 billion, let's say about $3,000. This is something very low. But then I'm overseeing 7-member team. All of them are remote staff. Okay. But then we are looking to source for funds to help us to earn more trust from our clients, and more trust by getting a physical structure and then translate, or let me say translate from remote workforce to physical workforce, where we can have everything in harmony, physically done, and clients are working. It's not everything we can do from our bedroom, right? Yeah, so that is it. So I'm looking for funding to help us scale. Yeah. That's all about that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Any questions for him? questions, there's questions to get some clarity or whether to go for the business or not. Do you understand anything?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
You rightly said that 80% or 20% of business is yeah, you are right. I think sooner than the but it was said to the consistency of government policy. So is there anything you put that in place, you know what you are going through, especially in this part of the world? You should be consistent with policy.
So one of the our services that we render for those who we render probably web app development, app development, or any digital solutions tailored to the business. And then most of the time, situation with government policy. Digital solution at all. We want to know whether you are there viable or whether it's even scalable in the midst of various economic situations and government policy. So once we put that in place, we put that in place, and once we identify or we are ascertain the fact that we are affected, we should move on with it. But if there's need for you to change anything, if there's no policy, we will change as well. So we are like a business doctor.
Okay, thank you so much. A round of applause for him. We will be going about to voting and please will take care of that.
So I think that was one of parts that's very easy kind of nostalgia for everyone. And this voting system, both for the audience and because sometimes we get really confused, right? You know, how we work, beautiful, awesome solutions, dishing out, and we're like, 5 seconds, and what I need for like, because one, not like one, and really kind of really on the at the end of the day, we're gonna have to just, so we just have 4 minutes to do the voting, right? So we have everything we need there. Barcode is there, just scan it or use the link, type it, and move straight to the voting. Right, so I want us to take this part, make it more faster. I did it 2 minutes also. I would love that to do that, but I want every single person here to really vote and think. Okay, so this is coming up. Just wanted to show. This is live. So form is live. So immediately do and then we refresh and see it. So please use the barcode or basically use the link there. Anyone that is faster for you, beautiful, and then we can use it. Okay. It seems some others don't want to vote themselves or yes. Who goes to election without voting for himself? So when our president goes for election, he will not vote for himself and expect others to. No, yes. So just one person, one vote, right? And one great thing about the system is even though you vote 100 times, one vote counts. That's how it's already clear. I can assure you that if you want to try, you can try it. So I will have less than 2 minutes for voting. So please be great. So we great that we do justice to that. And immediately after the voting, before we announce the winner, we want to do something quite great. One of the things that a lot of us are coming from startup communities or business, even though we're professionals, we work for different businesses and organizations. And one of the key factors in businesses is funding, right? Every startup they come in here, they all ask it that we need to amount of money. Right, funding strategies and all that. So we'll be having a guest briefly giving us 10 minutes to actually dissect, 5 to 10 minutes, dissect about funding and funding strategies. So not just for the startup, but every single person. How well we could go about it. So just going to be quite brief and keep it because we don't have so much time. But trust me, you would have wished that he actually was given 20 minutes. If not 10 minutes. Like you probably want it to stay like the next 1 hour if you hear him talk. But yes, I think we have less than a minute. So all of us, you're voting. Oh, Or you're all picked the code so that I can switch, right? You can use the link or you can use the background. Either of them, it works. So medical IDC, search for so that no issues of people typing, love URL can be an issue. So use your barcode scan and then you get it. Okay, so next I want to move into is to show us the voting. So still going on? Yes, please. So while we wait for the voting and then for us to announce the winner, what we're going to do is call the guests so that we can actually, Joshua Corey, please, I don't think we have all that time. And sorry that we are really hurrying it up. I don't want to prepare for 30 minutes and I'm giving just less than 10 minutes. I know it's an issue, but I trust that you can actually compress the whole information that I'm going to. Please control this and let's do justice to this session. Thank you.
This, I just like to good evening, everyone. So this founders life, and what we do here is, sorry, is it on? So good evening, everyone. Joshua, okay, I should stay. Yeah, I was sorry. So what we do here basically is try to engage as founders, share our common challenges, see what's the problem is, and what basically we could do to support each other. Basically, that's what the community is all about. So I was supposed to speak on investment readiness, and one of the things I used to say is that what's important when you want to be investment ready.
CEO coming. CEO coming.
Okay, what do you want me to say?
Yes.
Okay. So what you do when you want to be investment ready depends on who you want to get the investment from. And investments are more of an art than science. They are both of the two, but it's more art than science. What that simply means is that often of investor. I'll give an question. Now, the founders like the given some bets. Now, if I'm an investor, those bets that are looking, you think I'm invest just like and what? Just I just who would like invest and why? Any like any response? Again, what I want to do is to give you 10,000 X. So who do you think I will invest in? So that's begin to give.
All right, Louise, make sure you're off mute there. We're gonna check things out. How are you doing?
Doing great. I am so glad that we got to just, get a taste of what it's like there in Lagos. Technology isn't always perfect, but it's amazing how even a scratchy connection gives you a feel for a place. The Beatles were a worldwide hit and people heard them on AM radio. You don't need high fidelity to get the message across.
No. And it's just great. That was such, we went through center stage, we previewed the startups, and then we were able to see the pitches. What was your initial takeaway of, obviously, here's the beauty of Founders Live. We're dropping into, we're in the clouds, everyone. And, we're residing in the United States, and this is happening live in Lagos, Nigeria. It's so cool to even see it and be there. What was your takeaway?
Well, really, it's funny because when we're on the broadcast, sometimes it's like, there's a lot of things for us to be paying attention to. And so sometimes I don't actually even get the full gist of what the presenters are saying, but I'm really more absorbing like what the feeling is in the room and the tone of the voice of the presenters. And, I can see what's going on here and how they're running the room and the vibe of the people asking questions. I just love getting the flavor for it. Like I know it sounds a little woo woo, but like that, just vibing with the people is enough for me. I get a lot out of that.
Yeah, me too. And it's so cool. It was exciting to see the pitches. My takeaway with all this, I'll go back to, and we didn't do the prediction beforehand. I would have actually called out sports reels, and I had a good feeling about that pitch. Woman, female founder, really cool, exciting, and I actually think that it's that's just an interesting product, and I think it's going to take hold. So. What was your takeaway?
Same with me. And that was the fun thing about seeing her pitch. She was telling her story from her own experience as an athlete. And, that's a great way that's how so many founders find their initial footing, right? Is that personal need and that direct relation with a problem that needs to be solved. And, she just went out and did it. And, and here we have, someone else. I didn't hear the person announced, but he's giving the room schooling them on things about pitching and the importance of this whole thing that we do. And I just love looking down here. I'm not even looking at the camera right now. My eyes are fixated on what we have on screen. So it's great to see the vibe of entrepreneurship being shared, passing the torch. And like like you said, gather around the campfire. These campfires we have one here and people are picking up sticks to bring these fires to their own communities, to their own, to the people in their own startups. It's inspiring.
It is. Really curious. I'm sure they're about to announce the winner there, and we're getting ready here as well with
online. If you want to vote, there may still be time. Here we go, getting ready to do the winner.
There may still be time. We're going to put that on there, saying, "Hey, we're almost ready." We do have insights on the results here, but we'll wait for them to actually announce the winner and all that. What's funny, Luis, I was just going to say this. What's funny that, when we'll get the feedback here in a second, but it makes me jealous when I see this. I just want to be there. Like,
I know, Sam, you had a post this week on our blog about your experience winning a pitch way back, 2013. And how that ultimately inspired the way that you formed Founders Lives format and having a pitch competition. And, I know that you know exactly what it feels like for these people on stage and for the person who eventually gets announced as a winner. You can read on our social media, founderslive.com/social media, several different stories from founders who've won and what that experience is like for them. It's a unique thing. And, there's your blog post on that too. So everybody who's watching, you're about to see someone get announced as winner and literally have their lives changed. Even if it's not, $2 billion in cash and prizes, these people's ideas have been validated and something changes with them as they go forward.
Yeah. That's the post there. And I just was talking about, the origins of Founders Live was really me winning a pitch competition before I started Founders Live and the feeling of it. And, we're going to have a winner here soon, and I know that they're going to be very excited. And I think it's just that's what comes with every single Founders Live event, whether it's in Africa or it's in South America, Europe. It's the same dang feeling. So yeah, we're hanging tough here. We're about to hear the winner. We're about to find out what's going on. Yeah, we are
building the anticipation.
We are ready. I know that I can see we're getting some connectivity challenges here. So let's get them. See what's going on here. Yeah.
We keep dropping in and out of camera. At least they have two. Oh, we just lost our second. Yeah, they're just trying to make us even more nervous for the winner here.
So good. But yeah, I encourage you all to check out this blog post. That's me with long hair. That was literally the early days of Founders Live. And that's from the very first event, which the winner was freaking genius. So I think that that's such a irony. Freaking Genius is not running anymore, but Founders Live is a freaking genius concept, and we're still running strong. So definitely check that podcast out, or that blog post out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know that we're gonna get them back, but good thing that we have some insight on the winner that we know was voted. We have access to that data. So if that doesn't come back here in a short time, we'll just release our results to the viewers here, so they're able to know.
Good thing that we have insight into that. We have the direct data feed of that. So I think we may have to do it. We're coming up on time wise. We have oh, hey, look, camera's coming in. Yes, Felix.
It's more like NFTs. I can't get it out. First of all, we do convert it, right? So I want you to project that value that you are going to do pre-sales, whatever things you are going to do. So somehow we get people committed.
Yeah,
so
we're out ready here.
I'm going to give to you 20,000. That's all I would just want to hear. It's as simple as that. And for example, the fact that there are a whole lot of things we didn't talk about here today. And when, as the time we're putting the streaming on, so the on that was talking about streaming.
Yeah, and Luis, this is this is great, right? There's a lot of there's some teaching going on here, and really just that's part of what Founders Live's about.
Yeah, it's a shame it kept dropping and that we didn't have perfect audio on this, because it'd be awesome to hear what he's saying. It sounds like he's got some good stuff to impart to the crowd, but at least they're picking up the whole vibe in person. Hey, handing over a microphone. I think we're getting ready to announce.
All right, let's kick it back in here.
Oh no.
Next point is next topic.
I know we don't even have his slide deck or anything. He's just going off the cuff here, so it's not like we can see where he is in the thing. This is one thing, is like we were saying, like each city might have their own little flavor on the order of things that they do. Whether they do a panel discussion, whether they have somebody from the community speak to the crowd. There's always a little bit of variation city to city.
Yeah. On that topic, everyone, if you are interested on expanding Founders Live, we're going to bring back, if you're interested in expanding Founders Live, just go to that page right there and expand up Founders Live. You can really help us really get to the next city, the next level, and just right on our website. All right, we're gonna get back to Lagos there.
And who is that? That's sports, right? Sponsoring? Yeah, so please come forward, please. So our winner is sponsoring. So it's so great to have, she come up and she was the only female here, and I hope, and the audience is clear. I hope the opposite actually did the magic. So don't mind me, sorry. So we'll give you like 4 minutes, because that's what we do for every winner of Farmers Life. So everybody has 90 seconds to pitch, and then the winner has 4 minutes to give more insights, all the questions, could answer, and all that. Yeah, so we'll give you that opportunity to give us more insight about your startup and so much more about it. So we're going to present exactly what we're going to as a winner. So in here we're having, let me present. So we have for winners both local and the winner that's local and international package together. So, but like we say, we focus on technology enabled companies, so we give a lot more technology, packages like the 10,000. So, before Wednesday next week, before Wednesday next week, she will receive an email that will guide us step by step on how to access AWS cloud credits, 10,000 AWS cloud credits, which you have a validity of 2 years. So we have it validity of 2 years. So if your platform can use that for 2 years without exhausting, you can use that for 2 years. So that's massive for you. So you can use that with not just your websites, your apps, web apps, and every other thing from architecture that you have massive AWS.
Yeah, Luis. So we're excited to celebrate Sports Reels as the winner of Founders Live Legos from the center stage event. We're so pumped and excited, and I know that we're kind of getting up to the time here. So So what are your closing thoughts as we close this up?
Well, my closing thoughts are a sentiment I often express about Founders Live as a global community. We are more alike than we are different. The Founders Live experience persists regardless of what city you go to. That's one of the coolest things. Wherever we drop in, there's that very familiar feeling of connection and sharing our stories, and it's always reassuring to me, and it's just so fun to see this idea just travel the world and be successful wherever it goes. I love dropping into different cities around the world and seeing this happen. It's fun, and it's only growing from here.
Yep, it is for sure. And I want to thank you all for joining us today. It looks like we might be losing that feed again, but we got it. We found
Good timing.
Good timing. We want to congratulate Sports Reels and everyone that actually pitched. Great job. All the pitches, we were able to get them. You were all able to watch and hear, and it just all came together. So we're so excited. And hey, we want to say next center stage event, May 18th, 1 week from today. We're always on Wednesdays. That's coming from Houston, Texas. And that's going to be a great show. We're so excited.
Yeah, Oleg's a new city leader, but he's already got it down. He's already got all his presenters lined up. It's going to be an awesome show. Join us for the pregame. We're going to do the same thing as before. We'll have a special guest. David Nurse is joining us. Is that correct?
Yeah, awesome. It's going to be a great conversation. David Nurse was played in the NBA. Now he's a really great mindful coach, and actually a coach of mindset, and working with a lot of athletes on a success mindset. We're going to get a ton from him. So I'm so excited. And so for everyone, check that out. And hey, Luis, we're going to close this up here. We'll give you the last word, and then we're going to be done for the day.
Well, if you enjoyed what you saw, check out our website, founderslive.com. There's ways to get more involved with us, whether you're getting a front row membership or a professional membership. We're here to make it better for you. We've got something for everyone. And thanks for hanging with us. Thanks for bearing through some technical It's, you know, as we go around the world, who knows what's going to happen, but that's part of the fun of joining in live every single week on Wednesday for Center Stage.
All right. Well, Nick Hughes, Luis Antezana, we are signing off for today. Thank you all so much. Check us out at founderslive.com, and we will see you later.
Bye. Thanks.